Remember when Katt Williams went on Club Shay Shay and warned everyone about Diddy nearly a year before any investigations began? At the time, people laughed it off. They said Katt had lost it. But then the raids happened. The investigations followed. And suddenly, Katt didn't sound crazy at all.
These big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light. Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. I don't want to look at nothing I don't want to have. Because I know how blessed I am. If I look at it, I got it. That's how Diddy be feeling.
Come on, man.
Now, Katt Williams is making an even bigger claim. According to him, Diddy was never the one at the top. He was just another pawn. The real power, the person allegedly pulling Diddy's strings, has stayed hidden in plain sight and is still walking free behind the scenes.
What's happening, Puff? I'll be back to you if JD ain't had enough. Yeah. Jermaine Dupri, king of the pedal, if you ask me, baby.
In this video, we're breaking down every name Katt Williams exposed, how they connect, and the patterns that suggest Diddy wasn't acting alone, but answering to forces far more powerful than himself.
Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never f***ing expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited in a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking in all the goddamn rooms, and you around and look in the wrong room and shit. Come here, come here. Is that 2 niggas kissing? Is one of them niggas professor?
Hollywood elites don't just use fame, they use money as control. Diddy didn't become a billionaire by accident. He was allowed to reach that level. And he didn't care where the money came from or what it cost. Integrity was optional. Dave Chappelle was offered the same deal and turned it down. He was offered $50 million, but he understood the price. It wasn't a contract. It was ownership.
And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty, the bushman lets him out of the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water, bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough to let go.
Katt Williams was also offered $50 million not once, but 4 separate times. And he said no every time. He later explained why. Sometimes protecting yourself means walking away from the money. What happened next says everything. When Dave and Katt refused, the industry retaliated. Oprah publicly labeled Dave Chappelle crazy for rejecting the deal. And Katt Williams? He was blackballed across Hollywood for calling out abuse.
Completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
This is where Diddy enters the story. Katt Williams believes Jay-Z was the one truly controlling Diddy, and people close to Diddy have said the same. Despite public appearances, Jay-Z was never Diddy's friend. In fact, Diddy reportedly despised him. And during the past year, while Diddy was under investigation, Jay-Z stayed completely silent. No defense. No support. Because Diddy had outlived his usefulness.
I see them giving garden parties. You understand what I'm saying? You could tell that the people in power had gave that ring to Diddy, and Jay was next in line. So to separate him, when in fact they may be two of the same, but because Jay-Z is low-key, that low-key sneaky shit, and Diddy is, and was rambunctious, you know, just out with it, it don't mean that they not two of the same. One just a little quiet with it.
According to Katt, Jay-Z is even more dangerous than Diddy. Unlike Diddy, Jay-Z stays quiet, avoids attention, and moves strategically. But it doesn't stop there. Jay-Z allegedly wasn't acting alone. Behind the scenes, he was working alongside Clive Davis to control the music industry.
Clive Davis put Sean Combs in position. That's what Clive Davis does. The amount of abuse that Janis Joplin suffered when she wanted to leave Clive Davis management. The amount of abuse Whitney Houston suffered when she was ready to write her book. And then all of the abuses that she suffered. You know, Luther Vandross, that was nasty work, Clive. Swinging it at Jay-Z's knees. I'm swinging it at Clive Davis's knees. And I'm swinging it at anybody else's knees who has had anything to do with this tyranny, with this evil.
And this is where it all traces back. Clive Davis. Jay-Z and Clive are considered the most powerful figures in hip-hop. According to insiders like Gene Deal, everything flows through them. Long before Diddy or Jay-Z became public power players, Clive was already shaping careers, deciding who rose, who fell, and who stayed protected. He didn't just mentor Diddy. He helped create him.
My focus right now is Sean Combs because he's a trafficker. Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor, Clive Davis.
Rumor has it, allegedly, Diddy got on his knees for Clive Davis in 1994.
But he got a boss too, and his boss name is Clive Davis. Clive run him. Diddy don't run himself.
Here's where the story gets even darker. Allegedly, once Diddy realized Jay-Z and Clive Davis were using him and planning to discard him, he flipped. According to claims circulating within the industry, Diddy began cooperating with the FBI. He became an informant. And Jay-Z and Clive only discovered this recently. Once they did, the switch flipped.
And that's not my doing. That's not Cassie doing. That's his doing and his learned behavior from the people that mentored him. You gotta realize, man, he learned from Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons. He learned from Clive Davis. You understand? When those people are telling you that they were heavy into the drugs, they was heavy into beating women and doing things at that age, at that crazy stage, that's gonna make him think that he could get away with the same thing that they was getting away with back then. You understand? The things that he was saying, you know, the touchy-feely between two men and all that stuff like that, man. All that, he learned that from them dudes. When I told y'all the story, when me and my man went up to Russell Simmons and he had a house and he had a man in bikini drawers in his bedroom, in his bed. You understand? Bruh, this is that he learned. I'm assuming he learned it from them. Let me put that. And I'm not gonna say alleged because I saw that for my own self. My man was with me, Slick was with me, and we saw that for our own.
Diddy was allegedly feeding information to federal investigators. That's how he avoided the most severe consequences for so long. The feds wanted bigger targets, Jay-Z and Clive Davis. Diddy was ready to talk. If authorities truly wanted him locked away, it could have happened years ago. He never even testified, yet he kept escaping life-ending charges. Some believe this conviction is only symbolic.
You're hearing Diddy everywhere, okay?
Yeah.
So, did you ever have any kind of run-in with Diddy? Did you ever do anything with Diddy? Any projects you worked on with him?
Yeah, he's produced a few records, or had his producers do a few records on my War and Peace album, the Peace Disc. Yeah.
How was he to work with?
It was cool. You know, he, gave us great music. We flew out to New York, and I was mainly in the studio with the producer. You know, he had a stable of producers, so I was in the studio with his stable of producers, and I think we did some great music. And I really kind of, lost contact with him and really stopped, dealing with Puffy around 94.
Yeah. Any specific reason?
Yeah, I mean, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And, I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. I ain't never really wanted to go. But I don't go to a lot of people parties. That just ain't what I'm in it for.
Behind the scenes, Diddy wasn't just accumulating wealth. He was collecting leveraged names, secrets, favors, recorded conversations. He believed he had finally reached a point where he could stop being controlled and start controlling others. Information was his real currency.
They'll let you do crimes, as long as you don't do no murders and stuff like that. They'll let you go around and pay you to protect him. You understand? To protect him. We had a lot of people on the payroll when we was doing security. Somebody might have this first 10 hours, that 10 hours, or whatever. He was paying law enforcement. He had a budget for law enforcement. Now, if something goes wrong, those people got friends in certain places. Then plus he tells his handler, yo, can you make this go away for me? I'll give you this and that. Now, that could be a lot of speculations or whatever like that. But why would you have or be working for an FBI agent if you're not an informant? Why? So, when you got that kind of money, you could hire people to make a lot of things go away for you. Like you hired lawyers. Those lawyers have police officers and people working for them. And investigators. Those investigators were former officers. So all of them in the backyard in Diddy bed together.
How does it go on for so long? When we were on the street, we didn't get a day's rest. I mean, the government was all over us. The FBI is all over us. They got investigations on us. They got informants. They got surveillance equipment.
He was not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was he really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, oh, he's not. It's the reason why these type of people get caught up. They always been telling they bigger than the law because they part of the law, And as you know, all these people get...
But Diddy underestimated who he was dealing with. He assumed jail would keep him safe. Then rumors started spreading that he was preparing to confess. Not long after, he was attacked. The message was clear: even behind bars, silence was not optional.
All about the money. They saw what he did to Cassie. With the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know that nobody in America liked that. So now, these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies. They're not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey, buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, you know, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape.
Here's where the story gets even darker. Allegedly, once Diddy realized Jay-Z and Clive Davis were using him and planning to discard him, he flipped. According to claims circulating within the industry, Diddy began cooperating with the FBI. He became an informant. And Jay-Z and Clive only discovered this recently. Once they did, the switch flipped.
Very scary happened to him. One of his close friends is speaking out and saying that while he was sleeping at the MDC Brooklyn jail, somebody came and put a knife, pressed it to his throat. Now, as I keep digging into the story, they're saying yes, a correctional officer or a police officer was the one who came and basically helped him out and quote unquote saved him. Yes. And so, you know, obviously Diddy's lawyers are trying to use this as a way to just get him even moved to a different location. But right now, everything is kind of staying as is.
Yeah, his safety being an issue when he's supposed to be, you know, I think in some sort of protected environment. You know, remember MDC, isn't that where the Epstein situation happened?
Yeah.
Is he safe though? And you say something about him getting stabbed?
I was going to say, Diddy's team is saying no, he's not going to be safe because in court we found out that there was an attempt on Diddy's life, that there was a man that attempted to shank him, but they stopped it, the correctional officers. And they say Diddy didn't even want people to know that he didn't want to make it a big deal. But of course they're having that conversation about will he be safe because of who he is and how high profile this case is.
Right.
They're also having a conversation. Mark Geragos is a high profile attorney, a friend of Diddy's, but also the dad of Teenie Geragos, who led Diddy's defense about Diddy potentially being in court. And we can and just attacks on his life because they say that people look at him as like a trophy or a prize and to do something to him.
Well, what if other inmates hear all of the stuff that we've been hearing in the news all of these weeks and they scared of Diddy?
That's not how they presented it. I don't.
That's crazy to say Diddy's a trophy. Like he's looked at as a trophy in jail is crazy.
Here's where the story gets even darker. Allegedly, once Diddy realized Jay-Z and Clive Davis were using him and planning to discard him, he flipped. According to claims circulating within the industry, Diddy began cooperating with the FBI. He became an informant. And Jay-Z and Clive only discovered this recently. Once they did, the switch flipped.
Renowned Dallas pastor T.D. Jakes is named in a federal lawsuit against musician Sean Diddy Combs.
It's filed by a producer that worked with Combs. It discusses how the singer planned to leverage his relationship with the bishop to soften the impact on his public image of Casey Ventura's lawsuit. Ventura is a former girlfriend of Combs who filed her own lawsuit in November alleging violence and trafficking.
Could this federal investigation have come out of these private lawsuits?
Oh, absolutely. If it involves trafficking or drugs or weapons or other illegal behavior.
Lori Levinson is a former federal prosecutor.
They've decided this is worth a lot of resources across the country. So once they've done these searches, they have evidence to follow up on. And if they've got it, they'll move on it.
That's why people get on my nerves talking about who you should be seen with. I do homeless shelters. I walk in prison ministries. I deal with murders. I deal with rapes and because there are children.
Here's where the story gets even darker. Allegedly, once Diddy realized Jay-Z and Clive Davis were using him and planning to discard him, he flipped. According to claims circulating within the industry, Diddy began cooperating with the FBI. He became an informant. And Jay-Z and Clive only discovered this recently. Once they did, the switch flipped.
This was a shock to many in the religious community. Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a religious voice to thousands. Now he says it's time to pass the baton to a new generation.
This is a beautiful moment for me.
From the pulpit Sunday, Bishop T.D. Jakes announced that he was stepping down from leadership at the Potter's House, the Dallas megachurch he founded in 1996 and has led ever since.
I cannot afford, especially after November, to risk something happening to me and you be sheep without a shepherd.
This is video from the service Jakes is referencing in November. It wasn't until months after his medical incident that he confirmed to the public he had a heart attack. Now, 5 months later, he told his congregation he had been preparing his daughter, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts, and his son-in-law, Pastor Torrey Roberts, to...
Yes, Diddy was allegedly paying people to stand outside the courthouse and pretend to support him. Reports claim the demonstrators weren't fans at all. They were employees. The support wasn't organic, it was staged.
Network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's trial in New York. Hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? You apologize on behalf of your father. Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still think your father's innocent? Your daddy died for you! Your daddy died for you for abusing women! That's wrong! You think that's wrong!
The family, the foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the lies, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling for Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on two separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front of a jury to try to sway their opinions. And the judge actually told him he had to leave and take it off. And then literally like a week later, Justin did the same exact thing. It was taken out of the courtroom by the judge. And we already saw the videos in the Netflix doc of Diddy talking to Justin saying he needed to push out certain content to control a narrative. During the trial, there were a lot of things going on that I could see that to me felt like it was just straight PR. Do you remember all of these people that were wearing the free Diddy shirts? And it was actually a meme coin that's on their shirt. It's money.
As more names resurface, more insiders speak out, and more old footage circulates, Diddy's inner circle has vanished. No industry defense. No celebrity backing. No powerful allies stepping in. Just silence. Exactly what Katt Williams said would happen.
Why do you feel that way?
So these are all paid protesters. You can get $20 an hour if you wear a t-shirt.
You gotta speak up.
She just got recruited, right?
I refuse.
You said no.
No.
It wasn't worth the 20?
No, but like he told me that it's for a Diddy coin, so I'm not really sure what that is.
Would you do this?
Now Diddy is desperately trying to shut everything down. His legal team has issued cease and desist orders and is threatening to sue both 50 Cent and Netflix for over $1 billion. The problem? Every clip in the documentary was obtained legally.
Scene footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
You want to put the stuff in my fanny pack, King?
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just here and there. Y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, titled Sean Combs: The Reckoning. Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching?
I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account and how he was coming off to the...
Now it's your turn. Do you believe Katt Williams was telling the truth? Was Diddy just a pawn, or was he trying to become something even more dangerous? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because this story isn't over. More names are coming. More footage will surface. And the fallout is just beginning.